All right, Benin City, Edo State, you're welcome to the maiden edition of the podcast for the movement for a peaceful Edo. Now, if you are wondering what is this movement about, it is a movement that was born out of the interest to see how peace can be restored to Edo State, just as it has always been in time past. So, by reason of the various activities that has been happening, negative activities, so we had to come out and lend our voices and also get other persons in the society to add their voices so we can speak true to power, speak true to the minds of everyone, citizens and inhabitants of Edo State, for everyone to be conscientized and understand the fact that peace is priceless. And my name is Stuart Osazua, and I'm going to be your host. And I have with me today Honorable Justus AIDENAGBON, who would be with me on this show today. So, Honorable Justus, nice to meet you. You're welcome. Correct, yeah.
Thank you. Let's discuss the peace of Edo State.
Yeah, very, very important. So, will you just tell us about yourself briefly, very, very short?
Well, not too much to know. One time this, one time that. Just a young man who is passionate about development, passionate about, enthusiastic about taking Edo State to the next level. Somebody who loves Edo State, cares about Edo State, and in various fora has advocated for sustainable options in governance, sustainable options towards, maintaining peace and security in Edo State. And of course, I represent the ever dynamic young people of Edo North at the Nigerian Youth Parliament.
Sharp.
Yeah, so that's why it's interesting that I'm here discussing youth involvement in maintaining peace in Edo State, because that demography that is responsible for over 70% of the population of Edo State at large. So it shouldn't just be the older generation telling us how to maintain peace. I like the fact that peaceful Edo movement is also giving us a platform for young people to also talk to their fellow young people. Okay, so let's maintain peace, because statistically, if you look at it, most of the age group responsible for factors that we can say destabilizes a town or destabilizes a state, most of those demography are the young people demographic. So we need, as young people, to also talk to our young people to say, let's maintain peace, while we are asking the government to do the responsible things that is necessary for peace to be maintained and for youth to be okay in our society. So, Mr. Stewart, is actually good to be here.
All right, you know why I like this guy? Introduce yourself. He introduced himself, introduce the topic, and introduce the movement. So it's actually nice, my guys. Yeah. So very quickly, we're going to make sure that this edition is engaging so that everyone can be carried along. Yeah. Now, we're talking about the involvement of the young population in maintenance of peace in Edo State. So, like you rightly said, we have known for many years now, almost 10 years.
Oh, no, so yeah, more than.
Okay, it's more than, yeah, actually, yeah, true, over 10 years.
Doesn't say shake me.
So, right from the incunabula of our connection, it has been the attempts to advocate, to contribute, and took our mouths for matter of youth development. What's your perspective on youth actions that they can take to maintain peace? Because like you said, when you were introducing yourself, you said the major population of persons who perpetrate crimes, like things that lead the state to unrest,
allegedly,
really hell it. Are those persons who are in the young population, the young demographics of. So, what do you think is the cause of this? Before we look at the solution, what do you think is the cause of this?
Yes. So, from my experience in the development sector, unrests and rancor in society has been attributed majorly to economic factors.
Yeah.
Scientists, economists, scientists, social scientists have attributed that the economy, the level of poverty, the purchasing power of individuals determine how much or how little they will commit certain kind of crimes. So it is an economic factor, major an economic factor. Another cause of unrest in societies are psychological and mental. That is why it's important to also, in addressing some of these issues, it's also important to address mental health amongst people generally, not just even young people. Mental health, the state of mental health, the state of psychological health of people. Economy, psychological, and reactionary. Most crimes have also been attributed to reactionary cause, retaliations, maybe trying to react to a certain action that was taken against you, or trying to react to a certain action that has been taken in society that doesn't go down with you. So these are the three major factors that have been seen to be responsible for arrest within a society. I think,
That's fine. From those three things you have highlighted, you have mentioned, link it to your personal activity in the youth development space for years right now. What do you think these three things you had mentioned, based on study reports, do you think these three things you had mentioned are actually practical to be defined as causes for these conditions?
Yes. So to a certain extent, I agree. I have had to work with very.
I want to tell me why you said to some certain extent.
Yes, of course. To a certain extent, I agree, because I've had to work with certain international organizations that actually carry out practical research on cause and effects. So it's not just reading from a research done by somebody. You actually do what we call determination of causes and effect. And having been a part of this system over time, as a development worker, I've been able to come to a conclusion that to a certain extent, yes, economic factors, psychological factors, and of course reactionary factors are responsible for certain kind of arrests in the society. Yeah, so to a certain extent, like I said, I agree, and I say to a certain extent because nothing is absolute. Yes, nothing is absolute. There can be some certain level of deviations from the way the data or the samples were collected. As a researcher, you have to know that there's no 100%. There can only be 99.9. 100. There's no 100.
Okay, so I think that actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So you are joining us right now. Do not forget, this is the podcast for the movements for a peaceful Edo, an initiative to drive peace and also collaborate with every stakeholder, opinion holders, and actors in our society to see how peace can become our identity once more. So you have highlighted what you think and what you have studied to be the cause of this reactionary response of youth to
of people generally.
Yes. Okay, so we're actually talking from the youth perspective. Since we can say people, of course, because we still find normally in political parties, we still find people yes claiming that themselves youth leaders. So all these things are part of what we see every day.
Yes,
so having looked at the causes of this thing, what would you calculate to project to be a solution, or what are the things you may want to identify to be solutions to these things in our society moving forward?
Yes. So I'm a firm believer that of the popular saying, I forgot the author, which says that anything about us without us is not for us.
Oh yeah.
We see effort by stakeholders, functionaries trying to see how they can curtail certain criminalities, curtail certain excesses to ensure that peace is maintained in the state. But I feel that if the critical stakeholders are not involved in the efforts to maintain peace, it will yield little or no successes. And if the root cause of the unrest are not addressed, it will be difficult to wholesomely address the issues. I'll give you an example. So I will ask you a direct question, Mr. Moderator, that if, for instance, on a monthly basis, you have an income stream based on a working economic system, you have an income stream of about maybe say 3 million naira coming into your account. At the end of
is it daily or month?
No, at the end of the month. Let's not at the end of the month. Let's not.
It's not about I like money.
It's okay. So at the end of the month, right? Would you ever think of destabilizing a system where you are able to make such?
If you have asked me that as a direct question,
yes.
First of all, man, I'm not among those that destabilize the system. So if I start getting that money right now, if you start addition to what I take, it will keep me in the same mentality to never cultivate that thought and offensive and liberal. You want to contribute to maintaining the peace and tranquility of us stand the barrier and that state, right? True. That is one. So the economic factors have to be addressed. People need to have a better living conditions, better living wages. People need to get jobs. People need industries to work in, and they still need to have structured industries, not just the regular businesses that are taking over everywhere, which most times propagate some of these insecurities. You understand? We also have structured factories and industries where youth are able to exercise their smartness, their activeness, and all of those things. So the economic angle has to be addressed. The other is psychological and mental. When you are exposed to certain kind of issues, it starts eating deep into you, and it's not becoming a part of your thinking pattern. So we need to deorient and reorient the young people. We need to emphasize on mental health. We need to take steps towards ensuring that we have a stable mental health among people of a particular state, and of course reactionary. And in order to prevent reactionary crime, we need to strengthen the justice system. People practice reactionary crime when they believe that the justice system is not able to provide justice for them. So if we're able to strengthen the justice system, ensure rule of law, ensure that when cases are reported to law enforcement, they take appropriate, right, and timely action to curtail such excesses, we are going to reduce drastically what we call reactionary crime. And I won't be here and miss words with you. Most of the court situation we are seeing in Edo State, for instance, are reactionary crimes. Crime that maybe probably somebody committed against another person and the person has to react. But if some of these issues were addressed, if the law enforcement agencies stood up to their responsibility of maintaining law and order, we will not be having a situation of the crime being committed in the first place and there not being a reactionary crime in the second place. So I think, yes, cause and effect. To every action, there's an equal opposite reaction. That's Newton's third law. You see, I see those pieces. Remember, I studied it. So yeah, I think that those are some of the way we can. Yeah, these are some of the root cause, and probably one be to tackle them from the roots, because they are the root cause. We'll be able to have a very clean branch. Okay, thank you for that. Actually, he said psychological preset of what leads to this thing. So I can still pick a word or two from the Holy Scripture that I said, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So, and I also learned from practice. So I'm thinking like a billionaire. Am I a billionaire? A friend to a billionaire is the name, not billionaire. But a friend to a thief is actually be a thief. So the life setting is just so confusing sometimes. Yes. So it is true that whatever you think give birth to what you speak. Then what you speak give birth to what you do. Then what you do somehow in the long run now defines your character. So if you want to maintain and change, if you want to maintain the better definition and embrace the better lifestyle in the Edo State as it regards and embrace peace and development all around, I think we have to start to affect the way we think about the society itself. Then start talking in the right way that we think the society can be best. I did my NYSC in Owerri 2021 in Owerri. I always tell people that Benin City, I was bragging about Benin City. Obviously, don't tell anybody I told you this. Obviously, I saw roads that were wider, finer, more beautiful than roads in Edo State. But when I just tell them, I say, roads in Edo State in Benin City are finer than this. Yes. That is the pride I have as a Benin man. That's positive orientation. Yes. So if every one of us keep talking like that and our leaders also keep talking like that, in no distant time, we start acting like that and start becoming our reality. Yeah. So I think it has to start from the roots of us thinking right, so we can build a better society by our actions and the things that with young people that has an right mentality. Yeah. Another thing that bothers me sometimes in the whole of this development space is how come young persons, because we're talking about youth, we are centralizing this discussion to the youth factor. Yeah. How come young persons who have got intellectual contributions to offer in societal issues, most of the time they are found relegated at the bad seats, and those persons who may, I'm not classifying allegedly, yes, those persons who may not be defined or seen as these intellectual factors in our society as young persons, they happen to take the center stage that contribute to stuff.
So yeah, I share your concern and I share your sentiment. As also a young person,
They pay me some time.
yeah, as also a young person who wants to make a difference.
Yeah.
You find that that what you have expressed is possible. However, we must note that in social in political science or political sociology, intellect alone is not enough. But intellect mixed with service, mixed with resources, we easily earn you a seat at that table. You know, gone are those days where it is children who wash their hands clean that eat with the elders. No. Those days are now past. These days it is children who are ready to pack the plate after the elders are done eating that will be allowed to eat with the elders. So yes, it's a concern.
Who said that you did?
I did. I just said that.
That's a philosopher.
So I mean, record that for me.
We have to tag that to him.
I need to trademark that statement. So I mean, we need to have a system where youth are able to prove that they have beyond what is in their brain. They need to be able to transform from their brain to action. It's not enough to just have it intellectually, but you need to be actionable. Your intellect needs to be actionable for those people who are already at the table to see and say, well, let's give this guy, if we give this guy a chance at the table, he's going to be able to make it different. And that is why I like what the convener of the Peaceful Edo movement is doing. You know, he could have done.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to you,
Comrade Edo Gifted.
convener. I mean, it will have been easier for him to just keep these ideas to him or complain wherever he is. Why is Edo State like this? Edo State is just this, that. I don't know. But he saw a need, and it took the lead, you know, to provide possible and probable solutions. This is advocacy we are doing here, obviously. You know, hopefully this will get to somebody who will think about and redirect their steps. You know, so it is about converting your intellect to action and also mechanism level of resources, you know, that will be able to enable you participate in the process that will put you at the table. But again, let me plead with those who are already at the table. I don't want to say, oh, the elders or the political is or that. No, those who are already at the table. This is a clarion call for you that if you say we are the leaders of tomorrow, we know that you are just kidding with us because tomorrow never really comes. Tomorrow, when you get to tomorrow is tomorrow is tomorrow. So why not you give us a chance?
Such thing as
as tomorrow. So why don't you just give us a chance today? Now let's start telling you and show you what we're able to do, the difference we're able to make in society, because we are more agile, we think faster, we act faster. So yeah, I think that will come in handy.
All right, so at this point, we're going to call it a wrap, but I have to take the opportunity
On this episode.
Yeah, on this episode 1. Yeah. So I want to appreciate Honorable Justus for coming through and also contributing what he thinks will be the way forward on this prospect, on this road that we are touring together. So Edo State, Benin City, all ye inhabitants, hear this. The movement for a peaceful Edo has started. Join the movement so we can together collaborate, bring back peace to our dear state, Edo State.
Yeah, and let me advise, I mean, my young people, our young people, we are young people, and if we destroy the state, where are we going to stay? We don't have anywhere else to go. So I love Edo State. If we, by our actions, by killing ourselves, destroy the state, reduce our population, what does it benefit us? What benefit is it for us? So let's contribute. Instead of being destructive, let's be productive. Let's contribute to the development of this wonderful state, the best state in Edo State, in Nigeria, I must say. Thank you, guys.
Edo State is the best state in Nigeria.
Yes.
The heartbeat of a nation.
Yeah. Without us, the nation stops.